Alright, hey guys, remember it's TCG back with a new video. So the Fusion Festival is starting soon, and I'm thinking of bringing Fluffle slash Frightfur, and I want to show you guys the deck that I'm going to be bringing. Now, I don't have all the cards crafted yet. I do kind of want to go over them with you guys, see what ideas you think you guys would stick and what I should change. But I think this is what I'm going to be going with. So let's go into this so I can show you guys. So here, I guess I'm just gonna start and then I'll address the cards as we go. So one Fluffle Cat. Fluffle Cat is just your way to get your poly back. It's not super important to have, but I do like it to have it just so that you can keep on getting your polymerizations back. And it's a great way to go into your Sabertooth and then use Sabertooth to bring back whatever. And Fluffle Wings, two Fluffle Wings, I think is a must. I see some people running more. I think three is too much. I could see you guys just running one, but personally, I like two copies. I think it's great. I think it makes Toy Vendor extremely. Toy Vendor's already a really good card, but with Fluffle Wings, just being able to draw all those cards is amazing. And here I have Herald of Orange Light. So I like running two copies of this just because it is a hand trap. It does cost you having to discard a fairy, but when you have Fluffle Wing, it's perfect. Personally, I enjoy having it and being able to negate and destroy. It's basically a gamma without having, but you're able to use it even if you have a card or monsters on your field. So personally, I enjoy the card and I like having two copies of it. Fluffle Owl, great card. It's going to be your way of searching out polymerization or being your serve as a polymerization itself. So usually you're just going to use this if you're like in desperate need of it. And if in case you want to go into a Sabertooth and use this card as your polymerization, just fuse and then go with Sabertooth's effect. Fluffle Sheep, it can summon itself out, and it's able to bring back an Edge Imp if you choose to do so by bouncing another Fluffle. Yeah, it's great in case you have a Edge Imp Sabers in the grave and you don't want to put one of your cards from the hand on top of the deck, or you just want to summon your Chain or something so that you can summon one of your Edge Imps. And here one Sabers. So Sabers is integral. There's a lot of important cards that you want with Saber. So I definitely think having one is necessary. Now it is pretty easy to search out. So I think only one copy is needed, especially since it's able to bring itself back. So I think having anything more than one copy would kind of get too clunky. And personally, this works for me, just having one copy. Now two Fluffle Bears. Fluffle Bears is great because it searches out Toy Vendor. And yeah, you only need two copies. Search out those Toy Vendors. And it's great because it gives Fluffle Wings a card to banish with itself in order to use the Toy Vendors. In order to use Fluffle Wings effect to send the Toy Vendors to grave and draw the two cards and search out. So here, 3 Edge Imp Scythe. I think Scythe is an amazing card. It kind of serves as a hand trap. If you see that your opponent is doing a lot of plays, like they get to go first and they're doing a lot, and you're kind of worried, if you can find that choke point and just destroy one of their cards there, or okay, you usually fusion summon into into Frightfur Cruel, and then with Cruel you're going to be able to pop one of their cards and pop your own Cruel, but this will protect it. But yeah, in case you need to destroy one of the cards, it's just a great way to go into it. It's a hand trap if needed. Fluffle Dogs, it gets to search out a Fluffle Monster or an Edge Imp Sabers. Yeah, it's just a great card. Having 3 copies of it, I think, is really great. And 3 Edge Imp Chain. Edge Imp Chain is amazing just because the main thing you're going to be using is when it's sent from the hand or field to the grave. It adds a Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. A lot of value that you're just able to get out of this one card. Yeah, personally I like having 3 copies. Fluffle Penguin. This is one of my favorite Fluffles since it's able to during the main phase you can special summon one Fluffle monster from your hand. So usually you can go into Fluffle Dog and then use Fluffle Dog to search out another Fluffle. Before you could go into Fluffle Dolphin so that you can exceed into Bahamut Shark and then get totally awesome. But of course this is the fusion event, so you're not going to be able to do that. But still, I think having 3 copies of this is great because when it's used for a fusion summon of Frightfur a fusion monster, you get to draw 2 cards and discard 1 card, which is so much value. Yeah. And here we got Fluffle Dolphin. So Fluffle Dolphin is not as good without Bahamut Shark, but I think having 1 copy is nice just because it's able to target a toy vendor in your grave, set it, and then you can send a Fluffle monster or an Edgem Sabers from your deck to your grave. So again, another way to get Edgem Sabers, but it's also a great way to get Fluffle Wing into your grave. And if you have another Fluffle there, then you're able to use the Fluffle Wing to get rid of the toy vendor and draw 2 cards, and then use toy vendor's effect. So I think it's great to have at least 1 copy. Here we have 2 polymerizations. So polymerization, of course, this is a fusion deck, so you're going to want to have poly. It's easy to search out with Frightfur Patchwork, so that's why I only offer 2 copies. Yeah, personally it's worked for me. Frightfur Fusion, it's a great way to just banish fusions from your banish monsters from your grave in order to fusion summon a monster. This has won me games where it's just if I have everything that I need in the grave, I'm just going to be able to use that. It does like that you have to banish it, so you have to know when to use it. Personally like having it though. 3 Foolish Burial Goods. This is just to ditch the toy vendor. I think it's necessary to have. Here we have Frightfur Patchwork. Frightfur Patchwork, it lets you add 1 edge monster and 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. This card gives you too much value, so I think having 3 copies is a must. I mean, just being able to get, you know, Scythe or Chain or Sabers, depending on whatever you're trying to do, is great, and you get your poly, so you're easily able to fusion summon. Frightfur Repair, this card is the one you're going to usually want to ditch with the Frightfur Cruel, because when Frightfur Repair is in the grave, you can banish this card from the grave, special summon 1 Fluff or Edge monster from your hand. So if you need to, it lets you just it lets you just summon Fluffle cards from your hand, which can be useful in case you want to just summon a Fluffle Penguin so that you can summon another Fluffle, or Fluffle Dog just so you can use the search. So pretty great card to have 1 copy of. Toy Vendor is an important engine of the deck. It lets you discard a card and draw a card and show it, and if it's a Fluffle, you get to special summon it. Usually, you're going to be able to use this in order to, you know, search out. You're going to just use the last effect. When it sends to the grave, it lets you search out. And it's not once per turn, so having 3 copies is definitely a must. Yeah, with Fluffle Wings, it makes this card amazing. Here, so these are in my other version of the deck, the non-Fusion Festival one, which I think I'll make a deck profile for, I only run 1 Super Polymerization, but here I chose to run 2. I am going to craft it later. I'm just going to saving up my materials for another deck, but this is what I'm planning to go with. So 2 Super Polymerizations. The thing is, there's going to be a lot of Fusion decks, obviously, so Super Polymerization, I think, is going to be a really important card to have, and I think just having a lot of targets for Super Polymerization is going to be big. That's what I personally feel is going to be a deciding factor for a lot of games in the Fusion Festival. And 2 Called by the Graves, because you don't want to worry about hand traps. Now for the extra deck, I run 1 Mudragon of the Swamp. So Mudragon of the Swamp is great because it's going to be your card, your generic Super Polymerization target. And Frightfur Wuff. So actually, I'm gonna go through the Frightfurs just because they're the clearest ones to go with, and then I'll go over like the Super Poly target. So Frightfur Wuff, it's gonna be your OTK. So definitely, I would recommend having at least 1 copy. I've won a lot of games for just with OTKing with this Tiger. It lets you pop cards, and it gives you a nice attack boost. A really cool card to have. Sabertooth, great. It's a Monster Reborn for your Frightfurs, and it lets you, if you summon it using 3 or more materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, so it can be actually pretty annoying for your opponent. And it gives all your Frightfur monsters a 400 attack boost, so pretty nice. Here, 1 Kraken. Kraken, it's okay. I mean, it's able to attack twice during the battle phase, and it serves as a removal, so I think it's a great card to have 1 copy of. And then here we have 3 Frightfur Cruels. Frightfur Cruels is amazing. I think 3 copies is a must. You're going to be able to pop one of your cards and then pop one of your opponent's cards. Again, this would work with Edgem Scythe, but Edgem Scythe is banned for this. So, we're not running that. And, yeah, this is just going to be a great way to boost your Kraken or your Wolf in case you're trying to finish your opponent. You can just boost them by half their attack, and it'll make it a lot easier to OTK. And now we're going to go over the generic Super Poly targets. So I already talked about the Mudragon of the Swamp. El Shaddoll Winda. I'm predicting there's going to be a lot of Shaddolls. I don't think or Invoke Shaddoll, I think it's going to be pretty big. So having Shaddoll Winda is nice. You can also run Construct, but I think with Shaddoll Winda, you have a lot of dark monsters here through the form of Chain, Saber, Scythe, and then you have the Frightfur monsters that are all dark. So I think there's just a lot more dark targets, which can make this more relevant. And limiting your opponent to only one special summon, or limiting each player to only one special summon is nice. It's oppressive, and if they're playing this, then take it. If they're playing Shadal, then just take it. And Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, I'm just running this right now, just because I think, what if people want to try out Cyber Dragon? If they do that, Super Poly will just stop the deck immediately. You're just going to be able to use this. And here we have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is a great Super Poly target. 2 dark monsters. I feel like there's going to be a lot of dark fusion monsters. So, just be able to take those, get your Starving Venom. Great. Here, Predaplant Drextopelia, so 1 fusion monster and 1 dark monster. So if they're running, a non-dark fusion monster and they have a dark monster, then you're just going to be able to easily fusion summon into this Predaplant. And I think that's great. And here, Predaplant Triphy Overtum requires 3 dark monsters on the field. So again, this is a great Predaplant, or it's a great, it's basically a Starving Venom, but that requires 3 dark monsters. So if they have 3 on the field, then that's even better. You're just gonna get more value out of your Super Poly. So I think that's what makes it a really good target. And then lastly, for the Invoked Shadal, Invoked Elysium is just annoying for your opponent to go against. Just have this in your as a Super Poly. They have an Invoked monster and a monster special summon from the extra deck, which they will for sure have. And you're just going to be able to fuse them together and get your Elysium. So I think really great Super Poly targets. If you guys have other Super Poly targets, or you think I should run other monsters from the extra deck, let me know. But yeah, I think this is going to be one of the decks that I'm going to be running for the Fusion Festival. I think I'm also going to be running Gladiator base, but I have to see if I can update it. But yeah, what do you guys think of the deck? If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.